Now we'll move into the video describing the mind practice section. Remember, body, speech, or energy, and mind. And in the mind practice, we'll start off with a quote. It's a famous old yogi quote. You'll find it in many texts of the Upanishads and Vedas and so on in the Tantras. The mind is faster than the wind. So one of the things we're trying to do with our mind practice is just to get it to slow down. Overall, that would be a wonderful outcome if we can just get our mind to slow down. Many things happen naturally, in a spiritual sense, once our mind slows down and becomes less reactive, right? So it's not the full picture, but it's a very important foundational step. So again, to make this clear, the Shakti-Shaiva tradition of Tantric Yoga does not agree with strenuous practices of any sort for the body, harsh practices that damage your body or your mind, or your energy for that matter. So this is the case once again for mind practice. We want to learn natural concentration, not strenuous concentration. In the energy practices video, you already learned a way of doing a sensation meditation, and you may have noticed that your mind very easily was absorbed in that practice, and it wasn't as distracted as usual. It didn't have as many discursive thoughts running through it as usual. It may not have been perfectly focused, but that's okay. The point is that we notice that if we work with the mind in a proper way, if indeed we actually understand the mind, energy, and body complex, we can get the mind to relax, to focus, and be concentrated unwaveringly without strenuousness. And that's a great goal. That's what we want. That will be very useful when we're trying to make the cohesion of body, speech, and mind within ourselves and expand that practice out to the universe with the other plethora of Tantric Yoga practices. So we want to develop this natural concentration and let it be absorbed into the object of concentration. This is probably the most foundational experience we can have for the mind and mind practice, and that's why we're putting it into the Getting Started video series right now. For that, we decided to take out the first point of the Tantric 4-point meditation series. There's a series of meditation practices that lead you from basically the beginner stage to enlightenment over 4 stages. The first point is natural concentration. So we're going to do this together. So everything we said about the body posture goes once again. You can be in a chair, feet on the floor with a little bit of weight on it. Sacrum and ischium, your sitting bones are supported nicely. We'd rather have your back erect without leaning back against something or being propped up, but if you have to prop it up because you have a condition that demands that, that's fine. So, but if you can start to develop a bit of your own holding, then you get a sense of where you are in space, and you can develop a sense of your central channel, which is the middle path, which is so very important in Tantric Yoga at higher stages. We're going to use 2 points of concentration possible. You have your choice. When we sit like this, our eyes will be softly open, looking down at an angle, and we can be looking at some configuration in front of us on the floor. Maybe you have a little dot. You can place some homogeneous, colored, round something on the floor. A marble, a paper cutout, a blue dot, or whatever. It doesn't matter what color. But you just put it down there. Nothing too fancy that would have your mind start thinking about it. You wouldn't put a statue at this stage, starting to think about what the statue looks like, what material it's made of, and look at all the different facial expressions of the statue's person and so on. So something simple, okay? It can even be a dot that's already there on the floor, a piece of lint, doesn't matter. So we can use that, or we can start to relax and focus into a red sphere of light in our lower energy center, what we call kumbha, lower energy center, or vase. So we can imagine that we have a red sphere of light inside of our lower belly, about 2-3 inches below the navel and in the center of our body. That may be more difficult than looking at something. You may find that your mind moves a lot. I would suggest you are attracted to one and you try it, but you also try the other one. And try to see which one your mind is less distracted with. And that is the one I would go with for the beginning. After a week or 2, you could switch to the other one and then develop that same sense of natural concentration with less distraction that could be equal to the first image you were using. So, without further ado, we sit erect again, unsupported if possible. Your tongue tip softly touches the roof of your mouth. You'll be having your eyes open, gazing slightly down at the angle of your nose towards the floor, and you just pick a dot on the floor, or you put something there. There's no special breathing for this. And you just relax and you stay aware of the dot. Now, here we don't want to describe it mentally. We don't want to have some kind of internal monologue going. We don't want to be, oh, that's a really nice dot. Oh, look at that. The color is really amazing. Look how it looks next to the floor around it. Gee, I should have got an orange dot instead. We don't want to do that kind of thing. So when you notice that, just bring it naturally back to rest on the dot and breathe. So you can stay aware of your breath, even though there's no special breath pattern or anything like that. You can stay aware of your breath and you can stay aware of this dot that you're looking at. Or if you're using the red sphere of light inside, the same instruction. So let the tip of your tongue softly touch. Become aware of the dot on the floor. And don't be forceful. I always think that it's like you're laying your mind down. This is how it was instructed to me by one of my great meditation teachers. You're just laying your mind, letting it rest on that. You're not forcing it, not holding. You're just sitting it down and letting it rest on that dot, that image, or on the red sphere of light inside, the red bindu. Yeah? So just let your mind rest, come to rest on that image, either the red light sphere or the dot in front of you on the floor. And every time it moves away, just let it gently come back to rest. Don't be harsh with yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Don't look for a new object and think, oh, it's the object's fault. It's not attractive enough to hold my attention. Just let it come back without any type of analysis, any type of negative feeling whatsoever. No sense that you failed. And relax once again. Okay, and after some time, you can come out of that practice. It shouldn't make you feel spaced out. So if that happened, you were probably fantasizing somewhere. Yeah? Shouldn't make you feel very tired either, or anything like that. Should be a pretty normal feeling after you come out. You may feel more peaceful because your mind may be more at rest, and that's a good thing. Now, I would recommend 1 or 2 minute rounds. So you do it for 1 minute or 2 minutes in the beginning. I know that sounds horribly short. If you're dreaming of great meditation sessions of hours and hours long, I'm with you. They're wonderful, and you can get into them later. But without the foundations, they may be torture sessions rather than something really wonderful, expressing your inner peace. You know, it could be more like inner torture. So let's do 1 or 2 minute sessions, which is what was recommended to me when I first started, and very useful. This way it keeps us from becoming too strenuous. It's very important not to build up tensions when you do these exercises. So 1 or 2 minute rounds for 1 to 5 rounds total. So somewhere between 1 minute and 10 minutes of practice each morning, each night when you go to bed of the mind practice would be great. This first of the Tantric 4-point meditation practices, natural concentration. Enjoy that. If your mind moves away from the object of concentration, naturally let it fall back. Okay? So just enjoy that and practice that until you need the next step.